Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Ahead on our News, lockdowns are not off the table, at least not yet. Ready, set, Markle's alert now weeks away, and breathing new life into old gowns for a good cause. This is our News. I'm Jerome Sawyer sitting in tonight. There's even more magic ahead for Grand Bahama with two major investments announced this week. Carnival's cruise port groundbreaking and Grand Lucaya's long-awaited sale. And now a top real estate agent saying there's even more to come as new owners of the Grand Lucaya and Electra America Hospitality Group will attract top brands to the island. Megan Shepherd is just back from Grand Bahama tonight with more on this.
Construction jobs, 1,000 full-time jobs. That's going to be the catalyst to get things moving. Remember, this is on top of Port Lucaya Marina, under contract, going to renovate that. The Western Atlantic University School of Medicine, bringing event in a few years, thousands of students here. The Weller Group, I hear that it's going to be 6 senses, so that's very big. Doctors Hospital. So for the first time in many, many years, we have a lot of positive news.
The Port Lucaya Marketplace stands to benefit tremendously from the reopening of the resort. Real estate agent James Sarles confirming that the marina at the popular marketplace is under contract.
It's a major group that has many yachts under management. So you're going to see that place transformed. There's going to be a hotel over there as well. On the old site where they call it Track Deck. So there's a lot of exciting things happening, and so I'm very optimistic. And then you have the O2 Resort between the harbor houses. Those are going to be high-end homes with dockage. So, all these things working together. So we've been very busy.
He advises Grand Bahamians to get on their game to take advantage of what's coming.
Everyone has to realize that there's opportunity, but you have to be prepared. So make sure the kids stay in school, make sure they use BTVI, use all the resources available, and I want to see all the owners clean up their businesses.
But it can't be on the marketplace alone. He says aesthetics all over the island need to change.
The bazaar, it's got to be torn down. They've got to find buyers for it. There's a lot of different owners in there. It's a combination of government, Port Authority, and owners. We got to clean this place up. The Casa Bahamas and the Xanadus and all these derelict buildings, we have to make our city beautiful. And that has to do right down to the owners. Now the Port Authority, they've got an obligation to help us as well. Let's get rid of these derelict buildings. Let's change the Freeport bylaws. So government, Port Authority, individuals, we all got to work together.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepherd.
Grand Bahama will also be home to the world's largest floating dry docks. It's also part of Carnival Cruise Line's multi-million-dollar investment. President and CEO of Carnival Corporation, Arnold Donnell, explains what that means for the shipyard.
These will be amongst the largest floating dry docks ever built and help ensure a brighter future for Grand Bahama, creating great jobs for Bahamians. Now, Carnival Cruise Line, and indeed our corporation's history, is intrinsically tied to the Bahamas.
Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy also talking about the benefits of the facility.
We are working with the Bahamas shipyard to finalize the agreement, but these will be the largest dry docks facility that I think has ever been built. And we certainly, given the fact that ships are getting larger, we need these facilities because in the meantime, we've been taking our ships to Europe for their dry docks, which is not great for us and not great for Grand Bahama.
We're now being told future lockdowns are not totally out of the question, especially as we see a gradual increase in cases, and the Ministry of Health reports the grim milestone of 800 deaths since the start of the pandemic. This as the country moves away from what health officials call a reactionary phase of the COVID-19 pandemic. Jasmine Brown reports tonight why the health registrar says the return of the aggressive health measure is not impossible.
As COVID cases climb, some are questioning the possibility of another lockdown. But just how possible is it? Ministry of Health Registrar Dr. Philip Swan says while it is unlikely, it's not impossible for health officials to make that recommendation.
Never say never. And again, I'd like to dial it back to the numbers. The numbers that I'm guessing you're talking about is the number of positive cases. We are talking about the numbers in hospital. That is the measure for what we are trying to, what we use to measure our type of responses. How well is the health system able to manage the cases? If you were to start counting accurately the number of flu cases, for example, numbers might look astronomical, but that means we lock down the country. So it all depends on what is the impact of that infection on the individual, which reflects on how they seek care at our facilities.
After more than a year of tight measures to curb the spread of COVID-19, the Davis administration has removed many restrictions and emphasized the importance of personal responsibility. Dr. Swan insists it's key in the fight against COVID. He adds health officials are also keeping a close eye on a new variant spreading rapidly across the globe.
Well, we do routine testing, right? So every 3 months we take our samples and send it off. I said every 3 months, but every 3 months when you get a sample back in, we send it out a batch off. It takes about 2 to 3 months for us to get those results back. So I'm thinking that we would have sent samples off in a reference lab and waiting for those to come back. There is a new variant that has been sweeping across Europe. I think it's now to some extent about 30 to 40% amount of cases in the U.S.
There were 340 active COVID cases in the Bahamas as of May 10th. Less than a dozen people are hospitalized with COVID-19. Dr. Swan says most individuals hospitalized with COVID were in the hospital because of other issues.
There are some things other aspects of the monitoring process that we take into consideration. And for example, the hospitalization ability for us to determine how to manage persons who are positive, whether they're overwhelming the healthcare services, as well as persons who are even presenting to hospital for care, or I should say who are marked as positive in hospital or hospitalized cases. What is the spectrum of their illness upon presentation? Are they presenting to hospital because they have COVID?
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
More than 80,000 COVID tests have been administered under the government's free testing program. Office of the Prime Minister Press Officer Gillian Gray giving this update.
Since beginning our free testing pilot program on January 8th, there have been 80,123 tests administered in New Providence and 7,256 tests administered in Grand Bahama. Over 80,000 tests conducted in New Providence, a total of 1,280 tests were positive, and over in Grand Bahama, of those 7,000 tests that were administered, 54 of them were positive.
Before coming to office, the Progressive Liberal Party promised to introduce free COVID-19 testing, the rollout of a pilot program starting on some family islands. Not long after the party took office, free testing began in New Providence in early January. Well, the long-awaited Marcos alert system is about to launch in just a few weeks, but we're being told that some mobile users may not be in the initial rollout of the program. Berthany McDermott speaking to officials on this. We've got more on that coming up. But first, heavy rain in the capital today. What can we look forward to tonight? Well, Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center with our first look at weather. Greg?
A happy Friday evening, everybody. A humid evening outside our studios right now with just some clouds and some showers hanging out in the distance. Temperatures near the 80-degree mark. 79 is our current temperature. Your winds are out of the south at 7 miles per hour. That's pumping in those warm tropical air mass. And your feels-like temperature, very humid, 83 degrees. On our satellite, a lot of moisture being pumped out of the south, out of the Caribbean and across the area. Showers and thunderstorms affecting almost the entire chain of islands. We had some severe thunderstorm warnings issued earlier today. We will continue to see some more showers and thunderstorms tonight, and this will carry through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
After the break, Marcos alert all set, but not for Apple users. Find out why and why this may be a relic real soon. And later, are you going to be the belle of the ball? Well, gowns on display for an upcoming Cancer Society ball. That's coming up when our news returns.
got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
Police on Bimini are investigating an alleged rape on board Virgin Cruise Line. We understand a female crew member is reporting that a fellow male member of crew is the perpetrator. She's claiming it happened when she invited him to her cabin after a casual conversation at a crew bar. Police confirm he is in custody tonight. Now, this incident follows another sexual assault of a female on an early morning jog here in New Providence. Police cautioning women in its daily crime report to be careful while exercising and be more aware of their surroundings. Well, this statement criticized in the public domain, with some calling it victim blaming. The National Security Minister is on the defense.
One has to be careful from this perspective. The police are privy, unlike most of us, as to how crimes are happening. I believe the police would be delinquent in their duties if they didn't advise us, the public, of the risks we face and assist us in how we may protect ourselves against it.
The child abduction alert system, known as Marco's Alert, only a few weeks away from launching. However, it seems Apple users won't receive the alerts. Berthany McDermott explains.
The Marco's Alert system is expected to launch in 2 weeks following final testing on the Family Islands, according to Assistant Commissioner of Police Shivago Dames. The system, which will send out alerts in the event of a child abduction case, has been in the works for 2 years.
Once these testing have been successful, we will officially implement Marco's Alert.
However, not all smartphone users will be able to receive the alert when the system is launched. ACP Dame says iPhone users will not receive messages from the Marco's Alert system immediately.
It is simply because the Apple Corporation have not yet concluded on building out what we called a bulk carrier for the iPhones to receive that alert.
Now, with Apple users not being able to receive notifications from the Marco's Alert system, the National Security Minister is saying there's no cause for concern.
Currently, without the system, nobody's phone is alerted. So we have zero coverage. On the assumption, for instance, that only 30% of the devices that are Android, just for want of an argument, our judgment is we will launch with the ability to reach the 30% rather than wait to be able to reach the 100%.
The Marco's Alert system is expected to be similar to the U.S. Amber Alert system, which is a voluntary partnership involving law enforcement agencies, broadcasters, transportation agencies, and the wireless industry to activate an urgent bulletin in child abduction cases. It's named after 11-year-old Marco Archer, who was kidnapped near his home and later murdered in September 2011. Billboards for the system are already erected across New Providence and are being used to issue missing person alerts. And according to officials, 4 more are on the way. National Security Minister Wayne Munro says the alert system will be used to issue other critical alerts as well.
It will be a tool that will be available to the police, to the Met Department, and to NEMA. And so, for instance, over the past couple of weeks, we've been having some extreme weather. And so the ability to alert persons in the affected area will be indeed very useful.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Registered sex offenders have to now check in at a kiosk at the Wolf Road Police Station once they've been released. The system unveiled this week at the Wolf Road Station by National Security Minister Wayne Munro, who is praising the technology as a means of improving public safety.
Any improvement that addresses public safety is one that is worth the investment. And as Commissioner Clare has said, this is a class of offender that we take very seriously and that we're going to be addressing not only with potential amendments to the Act, but also with proposed other measures to ensure the public safety.
The registry, which falls under the Department of Correctional Services, was staffed only last year. Convicted sexual offenders have to register within 72 hours of release and must report annually, or if they move or intend to travel. Monroe explaining that along with having to register, in some cases public announcements will be made when these offenders are released. But Monroe issuing a warning to the public about these announcements, especially after a string of retaliatory killings.
The public should be very clear. The notification of sexual offenders being released is not done to permit any retaliation, any punitive action against the offender. If that happens, the experience in other jurisdictions have disclosed that judges will then remove people from the register, and we will lose the very valuable ability to track them.
Meanwhile, a group representing Rise Bahamas stood across the street from the Wolf Road Police Station voicing concerns about the registry, saying it should be retroactive and include offenders who have been released before the 2019 law was enacted.
Make the law retroactive at least 20 years. Include the first-time offenders. That's the name, the date of birth, the current address, etc. This is what progressive countries do. What are we hiding from?
Who are we protecting?
Well, who are we protecting? Come on. You know, on receipt of the particulars mentioned, the superintendent shall cause to be entered in the register the name of the offender, the particulars of the conviction. Termination of the registration provided that the offender has been psychologically evaluated and proven to be rehabilitated and has had no contact with the previous victim or their family. And it goes on.
As for retroactive registration, the National Security Minister explaining that the courts have determined the registry is a part of punishment, and so those who have already been sentenced cannot be subject to it. To learn more about this, visit Our News Bahamas on Facebook. When Our News continues, find out the woman now at the helm of the country's premier technical institute. Plus, local softball league play is back. And later, find out your options to becoming the next belle of the ball. All that still ahead on Our News.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
You're watching Our News. Dr. Linda Davis is set to take the reins as the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute following her appointment as interim president of BTVI with immediate effect, that is. According to the Institute, the tertiary education veteran has served in higher education administration at the senior level for more than 20 years with local and international experience. BTVI releasing this statement noting, as the institution transitions at this significant juncture in its history, the board is confident that Dr. Davis, who is a well-respected academician, will be instrumental in the transformation and structure necessary to bring BTVI in alignment with its strategic goals. The Board of Directors thanking the outgoing president, Dr. Robert W. Robertson, for his 6 years of service to that institution. Well, local softball league is back underway. Marcellus Hall speaking with officials earlier today on the locker room who say they are ready in the event that COVID-19 strikes.
With COVID cases on the rise once again around the country, there is some concern with local softball leagues which have just gotten back underway, what to do should it happen that one of the teams or players have a COVID incident. President of the Bahamas Government Departmental Softball Association, Dwayne Stevens, talking about what should take place while appearing on the locker room today.
We have our COVID protocols. We have a COVID team. Our COVID team is headed up by the former Deputy Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Mr. Laroon Burrows. And from the enforcement aspect, Chief Superintendent Damien Robertson and members of his team have that responsibility to enforce our COVID rules. What we will do in the instance where a player is found to have COVID, of course, we would inform the relevant authorities, and we would subject all of the teams that would have played that day to be screened, to go through testing, okay, and based on that, we'd make a decision as to whether or not the team can continue play, or we would have to strike them from further schedule for a period of time.
Right.
And that our contingency plan is to, once a team has to be suspended, to send them through the COVID protocol and then reschedule their games.
Right.
And still ahead on our news, it's the end of an era. Find out which of your Apple products may soon be a relic. Plus, Greg is back with your extended weather forecast. And later, the gowns that will make you the next belle of the ball. That's coming up when our news returns.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamik.
Well, if you've got one of these, then you and I are among the last owners of Apple's iPod. The iPhone maker announcing this week that it is officially discontinuing the iPod after more than 20 years, marking the end of an era. As smartphones have grown more sophisticated, the company reports that sales have dwindled. Still, Apple's Senior Vice President of Worldwide Marketing, Greg Joswiak, says the spirit of the iPod lives on in other Apple products. The final model of the iPod Touch will be available while supplies last. And yes, I'm holding on to mine for as long as it takes. Well, it's time now for your extended weather forecast. They're laughing at me in the control room. Greg is back in the Weather Center with a look at conditions for the week ahead. Greg?
Thanks again, Jerome, and welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather. An unsettled weather pattern happening across the Bahamas, a lot of tropical moisture pulling up towards the north, all associated with an upper level and surface low pressure that's spinning just to the north of the Bahamas across Florida. That will continue to pull all that moisture across our area, so we're looking at an unsettled weather pattern through tonight and into tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms will be in the forecast. Some of those showers will be locally heavy. Your thunderstorms will be strong to severe at times. High pressure in the Atlantic nudging in across our area. That's going to continue to keep us a little breezy across the central and southeast Bahamas, but eventually this high pressure will be building in by early next week. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Small craft, use caution for those swells out there as well. Southeast to south winds, 10 to 15 knot seas, 2 to 4 feet. They will be up to 6 feet in some north to northeasterly swells. High tide was at 6:35 tonight for the central and southeast Bahamas. Caution flag for you guys down there as well. Slightly stronger winds, southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots, and your seas will be running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at the 7-day forecast. Unsettled weather pattern through tomorrow and into early Sunday. Conditions will improve by Monday, then at high pressure in the Atlantic building across us, so improved weather conditions expected by early next week. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe evening and a great weekend. Back to you, Jerome.
Thanks, Greg. The Cancer Society of the Bahamas breathing new life into old gowns as the organization prepares for its biggest fundraising event of the year, the annual ball. Our Jasmine Brown explains.
If you're looking to be the belle of the ball, the Cancer Society has just the right fit, selling lightly used dresses for those who want to attend their annual ball later this month.
This is a nice blue one with lace. This other one, which is a very nice spring color, beaded. We have this nice one with the embroidery. Okay, and it's a beautiful purple color. We also have black ball gowns as well. Some people, like to be more extravagant with the tulle and poofy. We also have this one that's more on the sexy side.
There's no shortage of options. The Cancer Society's ball gown showroom features a parade of lightly used dresses on sale. Administrative Assistant Omega Miller says the sale does more than provide glamorous gowns for the May 28th ball in the Atlantis Grand Ballroom.
It's officially ball season. Our ball is at the end of this month, and then you have proms as well. And this is a great opportunity because the dresses are very, very beautiful. We have them in all sorted sizes, all colors at reasonable prices, just to assist persons who wants to attend a ball and wants to purchase a dress at an affordable cost.
The ball gown showroom opened earlier this month, and so far the dresses have been flying off the racks.
Persons donated these dresses, so even though the dresses are worn, they are in pretty great condition, and all proceeds from the dresses go towards assisting cancer patients here at the Caring Center.
With prom season just around the corner, Miller says the ball gown sale will extend to June, giving students a chance to get their hands on affordable dresses. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
A great idea for a great cause. Thank you so much, Jasmine. And thank you for joining us on our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a wonderful evening and a great and safe weekend.